Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another high elo Leca tournament championship. It's been a while since we had a Leca tournament event, mainly because the last one was the mid-elo one, and I lost that one. It's not funny. It was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever done in my life, but that doesn't matter. Because I am participating in this one just for the funnies, just for the content, just for me to get absolutely whooped by the highest rated people in there. And I hope you all enjoy me getting my absolute shit slapped out of my head. Because oh boy, I'll be playing 2300s tomorrow. I have 3 games, none of them I play today. I'm going to be playing all my games tomorrow or today, depending on what day this video comes out. Yeah. So that's all. I will have an Insta window because one guy unfortunately had to forfeit and probably will not be playing any more Leca events. Unfortunate. I'll take the worst looking victory over the greatest looking loss. But that's that. That doesn't matter. It kind of matters, to be fair. I hope they return to the server. Anyway. That's all. And you're going to be seeing some fun games, some good games, some bad games, some blunders, and some good tactics. And tomorrow, in the next one, you'll be seeing me get absolutely annihilated by 2000s. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to join the Discord right up there. Join that link in the description. And also subscribe. Now many of you subscribe. You better start subscribing after this video. Do you know how long Leca tournaments take to record? Lots. I need to analyze the games, record the video, put it on an editor, and I even lost some footage today. I had to record again. Doesn't matter. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy this video. Alright, luckily I have to re-record this game. So yeah, cool, awesome, PogChamp. Apparently the footage got corrupted for some unknown reason, so I have to re-record some games. Anyway. The first time I see the Zaragoza opening in the High Elo tournament, aka the reverse Karakhan. What's worse than playing the Karakhan? Playing it as white. Just straight up. Also, I forgot to mention this is the first game of the entire tournament, so sorry, just footage got corrupted, kind of burned out, you know, with the whole thing of footage being corrupted. So yeah, that's why it's kind of improperly introduced to you. G6. Now this video was this recording was of course supposed to, you know, be recorded a lot earlier. There might be a little bit of a different pacing in this video. Again, disclaimer: footage got corrupted. I'm sorry. I had to re-record a lot of things. Knight f3, bishop g7, bishop g5. This is the Tory attack. Looks like a Trempowski. If you had a couple of drugs. Castles, knight bd2, d6, e3, and queen e8. Now, if you like took this, no, it's still not the Trempowski attack. Okay, we just have this kind of structure here. It looks like a Trempowski kind of position. I mean, if you take the knight, it's fine, but you don't get the structural damage you get in a Trempowski attack. That's the difference in this game. E5. Attacking the center, because the king is still there. G4, white is going absolute bananas. By the way, the guy playing with black is 2200, and the other guy is 1750. Not cool. C takes long castles. Woo, hot stuff here. We want to see an attack. Black is completely winning, by the way, just saying. Because you can just keep taking pawns. So you keep taking pawns. And, okay, we're opening up the king. Cool. Now this knight is hopping around, just enjoys his life. Bishop takes, and we take the pawn, and we take the bishop with check first to claim the bishop here advantage, so we can attack the queen one more time, and then we threaten a checkmate. Actually, 2 checkmates. How do you stop them? The knight move. I was not thinking about that knight move. I was more talking about this, but fine, that also works. With queen to a3, that's not even the most accurate move, by the way. That's so funny. And now we just move the queen yet again, and then we have rook to g1. There is an absolute massive incoming attack on black. I'm joking, there is no attack. And now rook c8, and the king just walks out of the building. And we have the doubling of the rooks, and even though white is getting some near, It's trying. It's trying to do some. It's not working. It's just you have to sack a knight, and you have to lose the knight, and you lose your queen. It's just annihilation. It's just annihilation. Let's go to the next game. Uh yeah, let's go to the next game. All right, as you probably saw from the thing, I put probably right after the game ended, my game and someone else's game didn't happen. My game that was supposed to happen today is gonna happen tomorrow. Anyway, Caro-Kann. I hate the Caro-Kann. I mean, not as much as other openings, but Caro-Kann is just. I don't recommend it. Also, I brought a drink with me. All right, here we go. This is the fantasy variation. I indeed play this myself with against the Caro-Kann. This is a very solid choice for white against the Caro. Most people will be caught underprepared, but in this case, not really. D takes Queen B6. This is a funny line that I learned from someone. Not with a black piece, of course, just with the white, what to do. What you generally do is just play Knight C3 here. We don't care too much about what's going on in the center for now. Now, Bishop C5, it looks scary, but it's not, because Knight to A4. And the only move is now Bishop F2 check. Once the king moves, this is actually still theory. This is not bad at all for white, despite looking like that. Queen D4. It looks like a lot of things are hanging here, right? You can just take the queen. I mean, yeah, you just take the queen. And now you're in an endgame. And white has a slight advantage, despite giving up the spawn, by the way. You're going to be wondering why the spawn is not too free. So through this and, you trade, you cannot defend the spawn. The only move is this. And you don't even care about taking the spawn back. You just don't care. And because it's equal material, you don't have to rush about getting material. So you just develop naturally with like Rook D1. That doesn't happen, so we have F6. Oh boy. And what did you do? Alright, that's move. I get the point. It's to try to undermine the strength in the center, but you don't have to do that. Knight to F3. Attacking the bishop. F takes. Now there's complications. F takes. The best move according to the engine was E takes D5, and apparently white has a better advantage. Although this, honestly, it's still good. I mean, just don't listen to the engine. And we have bishop to G4, which is a good move. You're pinning the knight, and now the king just moves again. It's an endgame, so you should better start getting your king involved. And we have takes here. Actually, the engine want to take this pawn and give up this. Because apparently white just gets in faster than black, apparently. I don't know. Just take this bishop and shut up, you're fine. Okay, and then this move, you just take more space, and bishop moves all the way back, and pawn takes. There's this isolated pawn, but you can't quite take advantage of it. White has the bishop pair, or should I say Flinty, because he's the one that plays with white here. He has the bishop pair. Black has something. Now have G6. The better move here, according to me and Stockfish, is undoubtedly King F7. You don't have to commit your pawn structure just yet. But it's fine, whatever. You can play anything you want. Bishop to G2, taking a comfortable diagonal. We defend by not defending at all. Now you might be wondering why you can't take this. It's the move along castles, and you can try defending this bishop, but it's gonna be really hard to do it. It's gonna be really hard. You need to move your king. If you move your king out, then there is check, and then it's just, yeah, that pawn is not worth taking at all. Just because you can see a free pawn doesn't mean you have to take it. We have rook to e1 check, king moves, and then we have knight goes to the square. I was more of a fan of this knight move, which threatens a fork and threatens a pawn. And also threatens another pawn. Now this time, the difference between, let's say you don't see the fork, obviously, which actually, that was not playing the game. Okay. Let's say you don't see the fork and you take this pawn. There is no more of this because there's a fork. straight up saying. We have knight to f6, and we hang a fork. And yeah, okay, cool, fantastic. Another rook moves here, trying to trap the knight. It fails, and c3. What a move! You just disallow the opponent from doing anything here. You're just suffocating, and a6 to try to trap the knight. You don't care, you just bring the knight like that. Here, and the king goes out of the center. And then we have h6, and the knight goes all the way back. And the king is just safe, and you're up in material, and you just trade down, and there's just too many things hanging. And you don't care that you also in these complications. It's a funny complication. So after this check, you think like black has made some progress trying to win the rook back. You can, because this is hanging, while this is hanging, while also this is hanging. So what do you do here? You shouldn't take the rook, but the rook is taken, and now we have bishop to g7 check, in between move, and bishop to d7, which is a fork. If you try to keep defending this, it is made in one crisscross applesauce, and the game ends here. Actually, no, the game ended here because of resignation. It did not play into checkmate. That's the first game that I watched after 5 hours of doing nothing and just playing Xbox with nobody. Next game, it got a little too depressing right there. Okay. This is I think this guy is called Johnny, and this guy is called M. I think that's let me take my notes again. Yeah, that's Johnny with the white pieces and M with the black pieces. Let's see what we get. We'll get a Friends. I did recommend the Friends a lot. In fact, I used to play the Friends like 24/7. I still play it, but not as always. But still, it's just my love. D4. With the exchange, which is the boring, symmetrical, and driest as fuck position. You don't mind the engine saying 0.4. It's just it's symmetrical as fuck. C4. The Monte Carlo variation, which is haven't heard of it. I don't know if you. Oh, Levy just started showing up in my recommended. That's not good. Can you still play this? You can still keep some sort of symmetry, but I don't know if it's good. Monte Carlo is a city. I think it's a city, if my geography is correct. It's a city in Monaco. I hope I'm correct. Please. I've been watching a little bit of too much Formula 1 recently, and since I was 5 years old. Knight to f6. This is a solid move. You just defend the pawn. I haven't seen this variation, but I suspect it's good, because a lot of people have started playing this for some reason. Knight to c3. This looks like a queen's gambit if you think about it, but there's no e-pawn. They've been traded. Knight to c6. I don't know about c5. C5? I'll play c5, honestly. Knight to c6 also makes perfect sense. Knight to f3. And bishop g4. Excuse me. I decided to take a different drink this time. Some good old chocolate milk. Have you ever drank chocolate milk, which is milk and chocolate combined? Whatever. It's really good. I decided to not go with coffee to just make it unique today. I felt like doing it like that way. Bishop to e2. Bishop b4. Okay, we have the cross pin variation, which okay, the double pin. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Castles, and bishop to e3. Defends everything. Position is just in the balance. I mean, there's just so much you can play here. I mean, rook e8, queen d7. Like, you can play a lot of stuff. But just need to be mindful of the knights. We take this pawn. I don't hate that move. That d pawn would have been a weakness, and also white has an isolated queen's pawn. If a lot of pieces are traded, that pawn is going to be very weak in every single endgame. Takes, and we have rook e8, just bring the rooks to the party, and we have this battery formulating here. There's nothing scary here. You just defend with the queen. You might be looking at this and saying, why is this bad? Because of this. Actually, this is even better. You can't quite stop it. You can't. You try to defend, and white has suddenly some attack going on you, and you might lose a bishop, and you might lose some stuff. It's not good. It's not good. You're gonna make the argument. What's the difference here? The difference is that after this move is played, and this happens, you can actually rotate with the queen, with the knight, because now this bishop is defended. So you don't have to worry about the knight moving and no longer protecting the bishop. Whereas here, you don't defend the bishop. You're in a light square. Your bishop's in the dark square, right? So if that move comes, and you try to do the same thing, your knight has to move, and you're going to have to abandon a piece. So you're going to have to choose either the knight or the bishop, and you're probably going to lose the bishop, because if you don't lose the bishop and you lose the knight, you're going to lose your king. So yeah, that's the difference. Okay. We start with knight to e5, which also makes perfect sense, but it drops away all the advantage, because you can actually just trade. You might be thinking, though, wait, doesn't this just win a piece? No, because you can take the knight with a bishop. You might be giving away your bishop advantage, but it's better to be equal material than to just be down the whole piece for nothing, okay? And then we have queen takes, and the knight just moves to the center. And it's +1 point, +1. Why is it +1? Because bishop pair, bishop pair? Yeah, bishop pair. That's probably the only reason. And also white can formulate some sort of attack with it. Queen b3. Thanks. There's a pawn hanging, but you can take the pawn. We, in fact, do this. And if you pay attention to the board, there's just a fork. Now you might be making the argument, what if this happens? Why not? Because you can actually move this. Because you attack the bishop and the thing. See? It's really important to... The move order matters. And what you do, it matters a lot. But here, there's no rook revealing an attack on a bishop, so you're gonna have to lose one of your pieces, and you're gonna lose the knight. And now we'll just trade further because we can, and we play b5 because we like to attack stuff. We win a pawn because we're kind of good at this game, and then we go here, then here, and then here, and then there's a mate, so you cover it, and then you sack anyway because there's still a mate, and you go here, giving a check, and now it's +6, and then you just go. And you just press the resign button. I cannot speak, for fuck's sake. Anyway, that's that. Let's go to the next game. And now for a pinnacle. Niad with the black pieces versus M with the white pieces. Who do you think is going to win? According to past games that you've seen in this video. This video is not made to mock anybody, by the way. I'm just saying. And also, any names that I say is people from the server, so not mine. I don't have 800 members. But you can help me get 800 members if you join the Discord on the link in the description. Or subscribe. Or follow my tweets. Do any of that. Do as you please. Anyway. The perk. I hate this. I hate the perk. Why do I hate the perk so much? Because I used to play the perk a couple of times. I played it like 10 times. Every single time I lost. Why? Space advantage. d4, knight f6, you do not play knight c3. You play this. You want to make the argument it's bad. It's not. You want the 4-pawn big boy center. How does that look like? Every single perk player plays g6, fianchettos the bishop, and prays to God they don't lose. So you play c4 right here. And after that you play f4 right here. And then they're going to castle, because that's in their prep, you know, that's how it works. And then they're going to try to, you know, take over the center. Take, fuck the bishop. You can even take that pawn in the future. You don't have to take it right away, because it's going to get defended. And you can play knight c3. Look at your position. If they try to crack down, who cares? You just go here. You go here. They take this, screw you. You take this pawn. And if you look at it, white has a very strong center. You know, it's a good center. You know, it's just a little thing to keep in mind when you see like a perk or a modern or even an Owen's defense in your games. With d4, knight f6, knight c3, I don't like knight c3 in the perk because you need to take the space advantage, really. G6, because sometimes people, most of the time that they fianchetto the bishop, they do not give two shits about their the center, and they just suffocated that because they don't have any moves, and their bishop is blunted. So yeah, two things to keep in mind. Knight to f3 and bishop g7. So we have the classic setup of when your opponent does not do anything for the center. It's not really good. It's only good for beginners. Bishop d3. Castles, bishop g4. Annoying move, but just play quick h3. Yeah, nice, quick h3. And we take the knight. Why do y'all keep doing this? I know the engine is recommending it, but just because the engine recommends it, doesn't mean you have to do it. You don't even have to play bishop g4 in the first place. Just play knight c6. Why do you give the bishop pair advantage early on? Stop doing that. The bishop is objectively better than the knight. In 8 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10 even. The knight is only better in, like, some situations. Like close positions or outposts. Or when your opponent has a light square bishop or dark square bishop and all their pawns are, like, same color as their bishop. That's when the knight is better. H3 takes, and we have knight to c6, and we defend. This is a very good setup. But now there's sneaky moves, like, not that, that. It's bad. I know it's kind of bad. You actually have to give away the bishop pair advantage here. You have to. That's why you need to play, not right away. You should, if, they don't play, this, just keep in mind to move a3. Just if they play something like, I don't know, c6, just keep this move a3, so they don't have to harass your bishops, and you can keep your bishop pair advantage. Keep that in mind. With knight c6, bishop 5, and e5, and now the best move is to undoubtedly push the pawn, and now knight d4. What do you do here? Do you lazily take the knight, or do you move your queen out of the way? Very hard to say here. I know I said something about the bishop pair. In this case, it's kind of justified because the diagonals are still closed. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if this move was played. You can reposition your queen in a way like this. Not right away because, the pawn is there. You can try to get rid of the fianchetto bishop, so then you can probably take this knight. We have knight d4 and bishop takes, though. And e takes, knight to e2. And black has this very ugly pawn structure, even though the engine says they have an advantage. How do they have an advantage? Because of knight to d7, reroute, and also defending the pawn. Queen g3, knight b4, f4. Okay, don't hate this. Now, a plan that I recommended when I was watching this game live to some people that were also watching it with me is rook to c1. What's the point of rook to c1? What black abandoned a while back? The center. So if they try to undermine your center, we're going to move like c6 here. You have a couple of options here. You have the move. You have the move. You have c4 here. If you ever want it, it's a good move. If they play en passant, you just take either the knight or the pawn, don't matter. And here, if this happens, then you can take with... Why am I lagging so bad? Jesus. Just.com, fix your... Oh my god, the lag. Jesus Christ. Anyway, you can try to undermine the center and put your rooks in active vials. F4, though, I don't hate it. It's actually the second move I recommended. Rook e8, f5. He has a clear plan to undermine the king side. Although I would like to see a move like rook to c1 here to just, prepare the move c3. That's the move I forgot to talk about after takes and, takes. You actually get the move c3 here. Just a nice little undermining move, that's the thing to keep in mind. When the opponent has overcommitted their pawns, you can always just use these tiny little pawn movements to undermine the pawn center, the pawn structures. That's also helpful in endgames. You can just throw pawns and just destroy the pawn scene and just win the pawns like with the rook and just Pac-Man. Just a little thing to keep in mind from a positional player, which is not good at all in the game of chess. Anyway, that doesn't happen. Instead we have the move f5, which makes also sense. And now we have c6, and this is where the game gets really wild. F takes. Makes sense. It's a draw, but it makes a lot of sense. Now we take with the g-pawn, with the f-pawn, because we don't really want to open up this and give, white some possibility to attack us in the back rank and shove us from the backside. Now we have c4 now. It's not a bad move. But you should probably just commit your knight today. You should probably just commit something else. Or you can, take this pawn and undermine like that. Just a thought. I know it's bad. I know the computer hates it, but I don't care. Now this, now en passant and takes with the knight, and It's still the same position as before, but black has a very good bishop. Actually has a very good bishop. And now the queen trade is offered. Now, what do you want to do here? Do you want to take the queen and go to an endgame, or do you want to keep playing and attacking? You attack. Because we take this queen trade. I was thinking of some sort of sneaky like pin ideas. Exactly, top ends move, what I recommended. But then, I mean, they just move it out of the way. You don't quite have anything. You can take this, but it's just a knight versus bishop situation. I don't like that. It will exclude the rooks. So yeah, this is a better move. You attack. Once the queen moves, you got this check here. And now, the rook goes all the way down there. Now we heavily recommended this move. And it did occur. It did occur. Now we give the queen check, and we'll just move aside, doesn't quite matter. And now we take the rook here. The knight hops in, attacking the pawn, but now it's plus 1.6 because of the move that we've been screaming in the call for literally 1 minute. Queen h4. Lots of threats. Checkmate, and another free pawn. We defend against checkmate. By the way, some people were like, in the call, they were like, this move defends mate. No, it doesn't. You're just dying. It's made in 2. Or made in 2. Or made in 5 if you sack all of your pieces. Yeah. So the only move is bishop to g7. Also, by the way, I'm not mocking you. I'm just making it funny for the content, okay? You're just saying. You're not, I hope you're not offended by this. And even if you were, I literally don't care. I'm joking. Please don't report me. We have queen to d4, which is attacking the pawn. I mean, double attacking, and also pinning the knight. This is very important. Now rook f1, and it's a draw. What you had to do here is actually play the move rook f4. If you unpin, and if you lose this pawn, well, guess what? You get all your pieces in time, and there's 2 mates. There's 2 mates and 2 mates. You can't stop all of them, and also there's a hanging knight. The only move is apparently this now, so, and you just lose everything. You just die, and you just lose the knight. So yeah, you lose. But we have rook f1, g5. g5 is an absurd move because you're gonna have to move the queen. The best square to put the queen, according to the computer, is queen to e1. It does not happen. It's still a draw. It's fine. And we have a fork. And even though you're gonna lose a rook, you can force a draw. And if you take this, it's a draw. But if you take like this, it's still a draw. It's a draw. You can't escape the checks. You just can't escape the checks. It's over. I mean, it's not over for you. It's just the fact that it's a draw. But it is missed. And instead we hang not only the knight, but also the rook. We give black the choice to which thing to take. Now, if I ask you a question, would you rather take the 5-point piece, or would you rather take the 3-point piece? It comes down to, in this case, according to the computer, it's better to not take this rook, but to take the knight. Why? Because after this move, then there's just a lot of possibilities for an attack here. I mean, there's this, and after this, you're kind of forced to sacrifice here. And yes, you're up a knight, but you're not up enough, okay? Whereas you take this knight, which I would consider a 4-point knight because of how much it has been doing the entire game. It has been pretty much been putting pressure a little bit, but this rook hasn't been doing much. And at the end of the day, you're still threatening another pawn and the rook. So, yeah, you're threatening a lot. Also, Facebook natives, I had to make a Facebook to join some sort of something for school. Anyway, I can't turn off those. I've tried, but I can't. It just destroys the app for some reason. Anyway, now the best move according to the engine is to just go here. I mean, that's absurd. It's not happening in a million years. Instead we're trying to win the knight, it's promptly hung. This is the high elo tournament, and we are seeing the best blunders of all time. I hope I hope you try to move the knight, even then it will still be completely garbage. But like, I hope you try to move the knight at least. And now back to equality. Back to just equality. There's just nothing there. Um, and a couple moves later, yeah, a couple moves later, it's plus 12 and made in 6, and the odd loses. M had 30 seconds on the clock. Nyat had 6. For our next game, at our opening appearance, I've seen this opening once in a tournament over the board. I crossed the guy. If that gives you a clue, I hope it does. D5, the Dutch variation. Actually, you could call this a reverse Dutch, because it is. it is a reverse Dutch. What I like to play here is C5. This is actually an invitation to play Sicilian, but a really bad one for white. So yeah, people fall for it sometimes. D5 and knight to F3. I mean, this is just a Dutch, but like, you know. What I like to do here, let's go B6. Sometimes I like to do this B6 stuff and just, put my bishop here. When I'm not trolling. Or I might even interpret this in my actual repertoire. D5. We have E3. And we have the last year variation of the birds. I'm really surprised there's variations in this. I'm surprised it even has theory whatsoever. Knight to C6 and knight to E5, adding a little bit of pressure, but a good old move like Queen C7 should just do the trick. We have Bishop D7 instead. I don't recommend losing the bishop here that early. I mean, just take this. No, you take this instead, and now here, and castles, and just here, and you don't even care that... I was gonna say that this knight is trash, but not really. Whatever. Knight D7. Now you still don't take the bishop. I mean, just take the fucking bishop. Alright, fine, you want to take the queen. The bishop just goes all the way back. I mean, just not developing a piece, I'm just going back. And E6, solid light square structure, although you have the bishop here, so you should probably be aiming to open up the position in a little bit. Queen G4. F6. Cool. Now we have this random check, which is very random. Okay, you could have played something a little bit better. Just go for this and queen trade. If this queen trade happens, you're better because bishop pair. And also the possibility for the position to open up is very high. G6 though, it's fine. D4. Why not just... I mean, yeah, I know it's hanging, but like D4 is the only move. Yeah, I forgot. My bad. Sorry. Don't listen to me. Yeah, but that this hangs. But you're fine. You are lucky. And castles. Surprisingly, white is up 2 pawns. I think. Yeah, it's 2 pawns. But black is better. Why is black better? Because the move rook f5. The queen moves. And you attack the queen again. The queen moves again. And you attack it again. The queen moves again. And you take the rook. That's why it's -5 now. It's not only because you're down material as white. It's also because of the fact you've wasted so much time getting the queen to safety in the corner. It's just doing a smoke break with the juicer and the horsey and the cookie monster and like all the teeny tiny pawns. They're just smoking all their cigarettes and leaving their king to just be bullied to death by some random pieces. With pawn takes, and just snoop in, kill him. And yes, it is -13 here, and attacking the queen, and here, and attacking. And this position, they made a draw. If you don't believe me, these guys made a draw. These guys made a draw. I do not believe this. They made a fucking draw. In a position where in the next move you have made it one, you made a draw. Why? I will not ask why. I am questioning existence. Why you made a draw right here? I want one of these guys to explain to me why they made a draw. That was final game, because this is massive. For our last game, I said it 3 times. Hold up. And for our last game, here we go. Niad versus Johnny. Johnny's with the white pieces. And Niad is with the black pieces. Perk. Why do you try with a perk defense even though you've lost with it once? Anyway, don't mind me rambling like an old man. D4. Knight to F6. Seems like, again, stop playing this. Knight to C3. G6. Bishop to E3. Bishop to G7. F3. Castles. Queen to 2. E5. D5. C6. Long castles. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a fun game. I watched that game till its conclusion. I was amazed and surprised there was such game in this entire championship. I don't think there's a game that's going to top this. C takes D5. Knight takes D5. Knight takes D5. E takes D5. Knight to D7. Now what do you think? What do you see here? A locked center. Opposite side castling. And pawns. You know where this is going? Oh yeah. Oh, this is where it's going. Pawn gambit. Now, this is a sacrifice. You're trying to open up the lines for the king, and this is kind of scary. The ensign is just unfazed. the ensign is just unfazed. Doesn't care. You can put the bishop right here and still are fine. And if that happens, then you just start developing. Anyway, nothing. But white gets scared and goes bishop b3 instead. Now we have a5, a3, and bishop to b7. That bishop doesn't make too much sense, but fine. Bishop to h6. Try to trade off the dark square bishop. Knight to c5. Knight hops in a very good square. Bishop to a2, and the bishop takes. Now, normally you do not want to be initiating this type of trade. Why? Because the queen just comes in. And, eventually their knight to h3, knight to g5 ideas to try and get into the king's position. We have b4. Just keep on attacking. a4. Sacrificing the pawn. It's -2, by the way. White is dead lost according to the computer. But it's still a lot of play. There's still so much play. The pawn is taken. I mean, just black does not care. And with h4 trying to open up the king lines to get to the king. We have the move queen to c7. There's nasty intentions down the c file. And the king is right there. h5, continuing the plan. Don't hate that at all. Rook to c8. With the a rook. And for the last game, I hope I haven't offended anyone, by the way. This is all for jokes. This is all for comedic effect. If you get offended by one of these videos, you gotta go to therapy. I mean, just gotta go to therapy. I mean, just Jesus. This is all for a blast, by the way. I didn't mean to offend anyone's feelings. Anyway, not a park defense. Disgusting opening. Get this out of my face. This game, in particular, was a very fun one, because they went opposite sides. When someone goes opposite side against you, be prepared for nuclear annihilation in the chessboard. This is not atomic chess, but it could be. C takes, knight takes, e takes, knight with a7, bishop 4, b5. There we go. The attack begins. Now the ensign is just unafraid of this. You just take this pawn and you live. The reason why this happened is because you open up the lines for the king. You know, these lines are very juicy and tender. Bishop to b3. and all the advantage is gone. The other move was bishop to f1. I mean, that's ridiculous. Might as well take the pawn. If you don't see any good moves for this, you might as well take the pawn. Bishop to b3, a5. That's the reason. Because now you're going to have to make some moves to rescue your bishop, which is going to give black time to gain the initiative. That's a little bit of an advanced concept, even though I don't know anything about chess. A3, bishop b7. And now black has a comfortable advantage, but the engine is arguing that the move b4 is better. Even though you're sacrificing a pawn, it's kind of bad for white because the king has to start running eventually. Anyway, that doesn't happen with bishop b7. Bishop to h6, and you go knight c5, and now the bishop moves here. You never take this bishop, no matter how juicy and tender it looks. Never take this. You just invite problems. You just invite a lot of problems for yourself, because there's knight h3 and knight to g5 ideas. In this case, though, you're lucky you can actually defend both of these threats. Now I have to move b4, continuing the attack. A4, giving a pawn. Just giving a pawn. The reason why that happened is I don't know. Pawn knight takes, and then you just go h4. You just try to go for the attack, as we like to say. Queen c7, and as you can see, that open c file is going to mean a lot. H5, rook to c8 threatens checkmate. It's covered. And now, folks, the only move to not lose this game is bishop to c4 and dispot it. B3 is an insane move. You're trying to just undermine the king's safety, and it's quite undermined. I mean, that king looks like it's living in some sort of wasteland. Now the only move here is b3. But first, we take this pawn and threaten the checkmate. And then we go here and here. Folks, if that queen did not exist on c7, that would be a checkmate in one, by the way. Just we need to appreciate that queen. The attack continues to roll forward by trading our material. Okay. Bishop takes and knight takes. It's now almost equal. Almost equal. Almost all the advantage is gone, because now the knight h3, knight g5 infiltration is faster than the a4, a3 infiltration. And we have... What the... Oh, Jesus. This is just faster. When we asked Johnny why he played... Actually, no. When we asked someone from the chat why he played knight e2 instead of knight e3, they said they want to go to g5. Wait, this is faster than this. It's 4 moves. The other one is 2. I mean, just pick the faster one. Time is key in opposite side castling positions. Damn. Now I have just a4. Now black is in time. Now black's infiltration is faster. Rook h2, it's -3. But black suddenly halts the attack. I was heavily requesting this move. Heavily requesting that move. Because after this, and you hop your knight in, your pawns are very badly split. And the best move, according to Stockfish, is to just push your pawn. And if you try to move your king to try and defend, this position is starting to look really dim really fast. I mean, it's gonna look really ugly when those pieces, when the odds pieces just end up in your king. Not in a good way, by the way. That move does not happen. We have knight to c5, which also makes a lot of sense. Now the rooks just pile up on the h-file. You need to reinforce, so you reinforce. And now I have the move f4. What's the move f4 trying to do? If you take this, then there's another piece coming to the party. And even though it looks really good, and it is really good, it's actually completely losing. Just because of a3, the infiltration is way faster. And that's why you should have played knight to h3, knight to g5 a long time ago. Because your infiltration was way faster than theirs. So yeah, you are losing. But this is not even the top engine. The top engine move. It's not that either. It's a3. Again, the same thing. You go here. Your pawn is badly split. It's going to be quickly one back. And if you think you can just defend this position, you're kind of insane. But the move we have is instead knight to d3, which is also a very good move. you're trading down material. We have pawn takes instead of knight takes. Pawn takes makes a little bit more sense. Now the knight goes here, and now there are tactics. That did not happen, but we have knight takes b2. Obvious idea. This is just an obvious idea, and it's like absolute, probably like mate here. Yeah, it's mate. We have a3 instead. But why is it bad now? A move ago, it was minus 4.2. It drops to 0.4. Why? Actually, 0.1. Actually minus 1. Because engine is kind of faulty. Why does it drop so much? Because the clutch move, knight to e6. Attack the queen. Why is this so good? Because once you play queen to a7, there's the absolutely beautiful queen takes g6! An incredible shot. If you take the queen, you get mated in one. And if you don't take the queen and you block, which did not happen in the game, this happened in the game. If you block with a rook, you need to accept that you will be down material for the rest of your life. And probably be down a lot more, and probably going to lose this endgame. Because it's going to be really hard to defend rook and knight versus two rooks with such pawn structure. The pawns are very far apart, and even though you have the very good queen side, it might not be as simple as you think. But instead of rook to g7, we have king h8. And now the best move is knight to g5. If knight to g5 happens, you take the whole house. If this happens, you okay, hide the king in the corner, and it's done. They try to defend the rook. You go here, here, and give this check. And after this, here, and here, and here, here, checkmate. You win. I wasn't crazy that I was indeed a mate in 7. I just failed to calculate after sacking all my rooks. But instead, the game ends with knight not going to g5, but instead queen to d3. Drops a lot of the advantage. We went from mate in 7 to plus 2.3. A lot of the advantage is gone. It doesn't matter though. It's still completely losing for black. With a takes, removing any sort of counterplay for black, because you can trade the queens. That is why, when you have the chance to trade the queens up material, you probably should. And you trade the queens, and this endgame is yours. Now, one person in the call was like, I'm probably going to lose this endgame. You can't. Here's what you do. You start by taking the pawns. And then you take, well, you can take the free pawn too. But if you can trade further material, you probably should. And in fact, to move away, you can still attack stuff. You can take stuff. I mean, it's just over. And then you pile up. Now, if that rook just stayed there and you played something like what you can play here, honestly, here like that, that's mate in 1, by the way. If you played this is just really good. I mean, you just kill him. So here, this is the only move, and then you just slide your rook 1 square like an absolute savage. You take another free pawn, and Neon resigned. You can double up the rooks, but at the end, I'm up a piece. I'm up 1 extra pawn, and you can't do shit. This game might have been the greatest in the entire tournament, but we can't get confirmed that because it's still day 1. So yeah, these were the games. Most of them, because some of them were really late, and I did not bother searching for them because I don't have enough sanity. That's all for today. Tomorrow I will have to play my games, which is 3 of them. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.